that the defendant should be sentenced to death. Signed, the foreperson.
That was part of the sentencing this morning for one of the worst serial killers in Arizona history.
Our Craig Harris was at the courthouse where Cleophas Cooksey Jr., who also killed his own mother, learned his fate.
It was a nearly 3-week killing spree in late 2017. 8 victims, including the mom and stepdad of Cleophas Cooksey Jr. In Maricopa County Superior Court on Thursday, he learned his fate. 6 times the jury unanimously decided he deserved the death penalty.
The jury has unanimously determined that for each of them, the appropriate sentence is death. So it is the judgment of the court that you be sentenced to life in prison to be executed by lethal injection in due course.
That was Judge Mark Brain. In 2 of the murders involving his mom and stepdad, the jury could not reach a unanimous decision. The jurors told us after the hearing that they chose leniency in those cases. As for the other 6, they said they simply followed the law and concluded he deserved death. Prosecutors have said they didn't have a motive for every murder. Cooksey also was charged with armed robbery, sexual assault, and kidnapping. Cooksey sat stoic as the sentences were read. Earlier in the hearing, he was seen smiling and even laughing. Some family members and friends of the victims cried as the sentences were read. All declined to be interviewed on Thursday. But Eric Hampton, a friend of the victims, had this to say in September.
I've known him since, I've known him since he was a kid. Kind of really surprising to see what type of monster he became.
Cooksey now becomes the 108th person on Arizona's death row. After the hearing, we talked to Phoenix Police Sergeant Lorraine Fernandez about the case finally coming to a close.
You know, these families were never going to be able to hold their loved ones anymore. Getting the justice for those families and having that end, that hopefully that closure for them is helpful in that aspect. And as well, as long as with our detectives, they're invested, and they've been invested since 2017, you know, actively seeking any sort of tips that come through. It's a constant working, case that is, you know, a living document, basically. So for everyone to be able to have that closure is huge for us.
The sentencing's come nearly 8 years to the day that Cooksey killed his mom and his stepdad. Reporting in downtown Phoenix, I'm Craig Harris, 12 News.